Let me share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes. So lecture 13. So today we are at the end of our second chapter. Last theorem. So that is Euler summation formula. Can you see this?
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
see the screen? Yes. Let me join also with my mobile. Yes. Okay, so what is this Euler summation formula? It will be used to calculate or to compute finite sums of the form k is equal to 1 to n summation k is equal to 1 to n yk. Okay, so what this theorem says that suppose that the 2mth derivative of yt, it is denoted by y to y and upper suffix 2m. So that is my notation for 2mth derivative of y. It is not like y raised to 2m. It is 2mth derivative of y. Okay. If it is continuous on interval 1 to n, closed interval 1 to n, for some integers m greater than equal to 1 and n greater than equal to 2, then we have this formula. Summation k is equal to 1 to n yk can be written as integration 1 to n yt dt plus yn plus yt by 2 plus summation I is equal to 1 to m b to I divided by 2i factorial. What is this b to I? This is Bernoulli number. 2ith Bernoulli number. B is capital B is for Bernoulli number. Okay, and into bracket y 2i minus 1th derivative of y at n minus 2i minus 1th derivative of y at 1 minus 1 upon 2m factorial integration 1 to n 2m the derivative of y at t into b to 2m t minus this floor function t dt. So this is Bernoulli polynomial. Okay, Bernoulli polynomial evaluated at t minus floor function t. What is this floor function t? The greatest integer less than or equal to t. Okay, it is also called as floor function or greatest integer function. I think everybody is familiar with this function. Yes or no? Are you familiar with this function? Floor function or greatest
No,
integer
ma'am.
function? No.
Ma'am.
What is this function? The greatest integer less than or equal to t. So suppose, for example, if I take 2.5, floor of 2.5, I want greatest integer less than or equal to 2.5. What should be it?
2.
Greatest integer less than or equal to 2.5. Which is the greatest integer less than or equal to 2.5?
2.4.
It is 2, right? Suppose it is 0.3 ceiling function. Not ceiling, it is floor function. So what is the greatest integer?
0.
0.
Right. So that is the floor function. And there is another means opposite to this function, ceiling function. Floor means floor, you know ना, फरशी. Floor means फरशी, म्हणजे खालून त्याला हे करतो आपण. And ceiling means fan, like our ceiling will be there na. That will be a ceiling function that will be denoted by this, like ceiling of t. What will be it? It is the least integer greater than or equal to t. Least integer greater than or equal to t. So what will be ceiling of 2.5 then? What is the least integer greater than or equal to 2.5? Least 2.5 पेक्षा मोठा पण सगळ्यात कमी असणारा integer. It will be 3. So that is ceiling function. Again, if I take 0.3, what will be the ceiling function?
1.
And so on. So this is ceiling function, this is floor function. That is the difference. Okay. It is this ceiling function is also called as least integer function. So they are opposite to each other. That floor function and this ceiling function. But we don't require now ceiling function. We require only here floor function. So everybody got it? This floor function.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, this now. Okay. So now we want to prove this. This finite sum is equal to this big formula. So for that, we will consider this integration. Consider this integration. Integration k to k plus 1 t minus floor function of t minus half into y dash of t dt. So what is t minus floor function of t? Y dash of and minus half. When my t runs from k to k plus 1. T runs from k to k plus 1. What will be my t minus floor function of t? It should be t minus k, right? Greatest integer less than or equal to t minus this t. So if I vary my t from k to k plus 1, what should be the floor function? That t minus t will be equivalent to t minus k, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this I can write as t minus k minus half into y dash of t dt. Now, since it involves derivative, we will integrate by parts. So while integrating by parts, this I will keep as my first function. This one will be my first function. And this I will treat as second function. So what is integration by parts? First function as it is into integration of second function. So integration of y dash of t is yt and limits will be k to k plus 1.
K plus 1.
Okay. Minus integration k to k plus 1 derivative of first function. Okay. D by dt of first function into integration of second function. Integration of second function is yt dt Is that okay? That is integration by parts. I just applied the formula integration by parts. Once I apply that formula, okay, now I will substitute the values upper limit and lower limit. Upper limit, if I substitute k plus 1, t is equal to k plus 1 minus k minus half yt. Yt will be y at k plus 1. So what will remain here? K and k will get cancelled. 1 minus half. Half. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
ma'am.
And if I substitute lower limit, k minus k will get cancelled and minus half will remain only. So minus half y at k. Minus half y at k will remain, but since it is lower limit, minus minus will become plus. Is that okay? So this
Yes.
theorem doesn't require any much understanding. It just if we go doing calculations, we can see the steps. Okay. So now minus k to k plus 1. What is derivative of this function? T minus k minus half. K minus half is constant with respect to t. Only derivative of t is 1. So yt dt only. Okay. So this step reduces to this once I simplify this. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, t minus floor function of t minus half can be written as b1 of t minus t floor function t. Is that okay? b1 of t minus t. What is b1 of t minus t? What is my b1 of t?
T minus 1 by 2.
What is b1 of t? It is t minus half.
1 by 2.
T minus.
T minus half, right?
Yes.
So t minus floor function t minus half I can write as b1 of t minus floor function t. And bi of t minus k, I am having bi plus 1 dash of t minus k upon I plus 1. This formula we have already proved in theorem, I think 2.9a,
2.9.
right? 2.9a. Let me select another pen. (2.9a). What is that theorem? bk dash of t we have shown as k times bk minus 1 of t, or k greater than equal to 1.
1.
Is that right? So just if I replace t to t minus k, so what will be my bi plus 1 dash of t? Bi plus 1 dash of t, it will be bi minus 1. So I plus 1 minus 1, it will be minus 1 at t. Bk at t. Here it will be I and k. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I plus 1.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
rearrangement you can say. Okay. So this we are having. Now we will using 2. 1 can be rewritten as. Now what is my 1? 1 is this one. K to k plus 1 t minus floor function t minus half y dash at t. So this I can write as k to k plus 1 b1 at t minus floor function t y. Now here instead of y dash first derivative, I am evaluating this with respect to ith derivative. I can't say 1 can be rewritten as, okay. From using 1 and using 2 and 1, we can write, not 1 can be written. ith derivative of t dt. If I consider now here ith derivative, what will be the changes? What will be the changes here? Wherever yt, there will be I minus 1 the derivative, right? Here first derivative, here we are not zeroth derivative we are getting. So wherever y is there, there I minus 1 the derivative I will get. Is that okay? So this ith derivative, or you can just integration by parts to this. This is my b1 at t minus floor function t. So that's only we have written here, and instead of y dash of t, we are now considering ith derivative of t dt. So if I again apply integration by parts and all that thing, I can just substitute the values over here. I will get this one bi plus 1 upon I plus 1 ith derivative at k. Okay, because here, okay, why ith derivative we are taking here, and here I plus 1 the derivative at t dt. Are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
You can just go through the proof and step by step you will get this formula. Okay. Now, once we are having that equations, we have to sum that equations from as k goes from 1 to n minus 1. Then this, if I add 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. So if I add that side, I will get 1 to n. So b1 of t minus floor function t y dash at t dt, which is equal to, I will get this one. Okay, there are many calculations involved in this, so I am not going all into details here because it won't like from above we have to see all the steps and we have to write here. Okay, so you can check or yourself this, and we will get this. So for b1 we will get this one, and for ith one we will get bi t minus t y ith t at dt is this one. So now using 4 and 5, if I now you can see here this summation yk term is there. So if I just rearrange this 4 and 5, I will get this summation k is equal to 1 to n yk minus half y at 1 plus y at n minus integration 1 to n yt dt. And that I can write as 1 to n b1 of t minus floor function of t y dash at t dt. But b1 again I can write in terms of b2 and so on by upper formula. Okay, so if I go on doing this, I will get summation I is equal to 1 to n b 2i factorial and all these things. Okay, so I am not going into reading all the things. So can you do this? You can just go at home and you can check this, all the steps. If you are having any doubts, I will clear it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And from this formula again, we there is example based on this formula, approximate k is equal to 1 to n k raised to half. So here my yt, what I have to choose? K is equal to 1 to n k raised to half, and here what I am having in this k is equal to 1 to n yk. So yk, what I can choose here? Yt, if I choose t raised to half. Okay, yt if I choose t raised to half and m is equal to 1, then apply theorem 2.10. And also you have to use this b0 is equal to 1, b1 is equal to minus half. This already we have calculated values. These are Bernoulli numbers, right? These are Bernoulli numbers we have already calculated. B0 is 1, B1 is minus half, B2 is 1 by 6 and so on. Just you have to substitute the values in the formula, this formula. 1 to n yt dt and so on. So this big formula you need to remember this. If you want to calculate k is equal to 1 to n k raised to half, then you need to remember this formula. Okay, it is just formula based. You have to just do the substitution and calculations. Okay, you can get it. So it is just calculative part. Integration you have to just do it. T raised to half integration is t raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. So it will be 2 by 3 and so on. Upper limit, lower limit you have to substitute. Okay, so you can do this.
Yes, ma'am.
So I am not spending time on calculations. So only one step is involved here. Here you have to use max min formula. So how to find upper and lower values of this B2x? B2x is my Bernoulli polynomial. Bernoulli polynomial B2 at t is t square minus t plus 1 by 6. B2 at t is t square minus t plus 1 by 6. So B2 of x will be x square minus x plus 1 by 6. So for this we have to find maximum and minimum values. How we can find maximum and minimum value of this? Minimum is minus 1 by 12 and maximum is 1 by 6 for 0 less than equal to x less than equal to 1. Hello. So, so this also you can check on your own. If you won't get it, I will again tell. But first think on this, how we are getting this. How we are finding maximum and minimum for some polynomial function. Okay, you might have did in your BSc these things. Finding maximum and minimum values of polynomial functions. Okay, you have to use that one. So you will get this inequality and then just you have to substitute the values. Okay, so I will close this. And there is homework also based on this chapter. Only one exercise is remaining, 2.13 AB. So please do that. And we will start now. Next chapter, linear difference equations. Now up to now it was all calculus, difference calculus based, like difference and summation. All formulas, properties of difference operator, shift operator and summation. All we have seen in previous chapter. Now in next chapter, I will use blank or this only. Here only we can start. Next chapter, chapter 3. linear difference equations. So just in introductory first lecture, we have seen what is linear differential equations, right? We have revised what are linear differential equations and how to solve linear differential equations with constant coefficients also we have seen, right?
Yes.
Yes. So now this linear difference equation is analogous to linear differential equations. Okay. So when we say a differential equation is linear, if dependent variable or its derivative are involved in that function in linear form. Okay. Differential equation which contains dependent variable and its derivatives in linear form are called as linear differential equations. Similarly, linear difference equations are nothing but difference equations which involve dependent variable and its difference in linear forms. Okay, so it is just analogous concept to linear difference equations. So in that we consider first order equations. So what is the first general form of first order linear differential equation? First order y dash of x plus p of x into y of x, which is equal to some q of x, right? This is my first order differential equation. Similarly, first order linear difference equation now we want to see. So let p of t and r of t be given functions with p of t not equal to 0 for all t. Then the first order linear difference equation is given by y at t plus 1 minus p of t into yt, which is equal to r of t. This is very important equation. Many times we will use this 3.1 only. So what 3.1 denotes? It is first order linear difference equation y at t plus 1 minus p of t into yt is equal to rt. Why we are saying it is first order? Because you can see we are evaluating difference of y at t plus 1 minus yt. So it is of first order difference equation. इथे जसं ऑर्डर असते ना डिफरन्शियल इक्वेशन मध्ये y डॅश फर्स्ट ऑर्डर, हियर इट डिपेंड्स ऑन आर्ग्युमेंट t plus 1 minus t is nothing but first order difference equation. Is that okay? So what is general form of first order linear difference equation? It is y at t plus 1 minus p of t into yt, which is equal to rt, where p of t is non-zero for all t. P of t and r of t are any given functions of t. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now, so if now this is homogeneous or non-homogeneous, it depends on r of t. Okay, If r of t is equal to 0, it will call as homogeneous linear first order difference equation. If r of t is non-zero, then it is called as non-homogeneous first order linear difference equation. We can write here, if r of t is equal to 0, we call equation 3.1 as homogeneous linear difference equation. Okay. In general, we write it as, in general, we use u at t plus 1 minus p of t into ut is equal to 0, 3.1 dash. We use this equation to, we use this equation as homogeneous linear difference equation. Is that okay? Instead of y, I am writing in terms of u, because whenever I want to differentiate homogeneous difference equation, I will use u at t plus 1 minus p of t, u of t is equal to 0, and its number will be 3.1 dash. And if I want to show non-homogeneous, I will use y at t plus 1 minus p of t yt is equal to rt, where rt is non-zero. That will be my non-homogeneous linear difference equation. Is that okay? To solve non-homogeneous, we will require a solution of homogeneous. So first we will find a solution of homogeneous equation in terms of ut, and then we will solve the non-homogeneous equation 3.1. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, if p of t is equal to 0, what will happen? Not 0. P of t will be 0, then it won't be a difference equation. If p of t is equal to 1, if p of t is equal to 1, then equation 3.1 becomes what it becomes? Y at t plus 1 minus p of t. P of t is 1 into yt is equal to r of
R of
t.
t.
So y at t plus 1 minus yt is nothing but my delta
Delta
yt,
of t.
which is equal to
Yt.
rt. So
R
can I
of
solve this now? If p of t is equal to 1, I can directly simplify this, taking summation on both sides. Taking summation on both sides. What I get? If I take summation on this
Y.
side, summation and delta will get cancel, original function as it is, and indefinite sum of rt plus c of t, constant of integration, not integration, what we say, arbitrary constant, where what is that, c of t, delta c of t is equal to 0. Now it depends upon whether it is c, just constant c, or some c of t. It depends upon what is my domain of yt. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So if p of t is equal to 1, we can just take summation, indefinite sum on both sides, and you can get its solution. Now we want to see the theorem to solve any first order linear equation, means where p of t is anything, any function of t, then how to solve it. So in theorem form, first we will write it. theorem 3.1. What this theorem says that let P of t is non-zero and R of t be given for t is equal to a plus 1 and so on. So what t is equal to a plus 1, a plus 2 means it takes discrete values. So whenever my if we take their not anti summation, if we take, then that c of t will be just, we have to consider as c. Is it right? So this theorem we are proving for discrete values only. So let P of t is non-zero and means my domain of function is, my domain of function takes discrete values a plus 1, a plus 2 and so on. Then a, the solution of equation 3.1 3.1 dash, what is 3.1 dash? It is u at t plus 1 minus p of t ut is equal to 0. It is 3.1 dash homogeneous. R given by ut is equal to u at a product s is equal to a to t minus 1 p of s, where t is equal to a plus 1, a plus 2 and so on. And B, all solutions of equation 3.1. 3.1 is my non-homogeneous y at t plus 1 minus p of t times yt, which is equal to rt. This is nothing but my 3.1. 3.1 are given by yt is equal to ut into summation rt upon eut plus c, arbitrary constant c, where c is a constant and ut is a non-zero function, from part A. So ut is a non-zero function from part A means it is a ut is a solution of 3.1 dash homogeneous. Ut is a solution of homogeneous difference equation. Is that okay? What is the theorem we want to prove now? Please go through it once. P of t is non-zero function. R of t be given function for t is equal to a plus 1 and so on. Then we want to show the solutions of equations. The solution of equation, which equation? It is homogeneous equation. Homogeneous, first order homogeneous difference equation are given by ut is equal to u at a product s is equal to a to t minus 1 p at s. What is product? S is equal to a to p t minus 1 p at s. It will be p at a, p at a plus 1, p at a plus 2 up to p at t minus 1 into that. This is product. Okay. And B, in B part we have to show that solutions of non-homogeneous equations are given by yt is equal to ut into summation rt divided by eut plus c. where C is constant and ut is a solution of homogeneous equation. So whenever we want to solve non-homogeneous equation, first we need to solve its homogeneous part, and then using that solution of homogeneous equation, we need to find solution of non-homogeneous equation. Is that okay? The same thing we do in our differential equations, right? First we find solution with constant coefficients, homogeneous equation, and then we find particular integral. So CF plus PI is my solution of non-homogeneous linear differential equations. So same thing we are doing here. First we are finding solution of homogeneous equation, and then we are using it to find solution of non-homogeneous difference equation. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So now we will see how to solve first homogeneous equation. Proof. Consider first order homogeneous equation u at t plus 1 minus p of t into ut is equal to 0. This is my 3.1 dash, right? Now I can solve this equation easily. I can write this as u at t plus 1 is equal to p of t into ut. Also I can write p of t into ut. Also I can write. And what is my t? What is my t? T is equal to a plus 1, a plus 2, and so on. Discrete values. T takes discrete values. So if I want to solve it using iteration, what will be my u at a plus 1? If t is equal to a, what will be u at a plus 1?
P of A, U of A.
P at a into u at a. What is u at a plus 2? What is u at a plus 2?
P at A plus 1 into U at A plus 1.
P at a plus 1 into u at
A plus 1.
So what is u at a plus 1? It is p at a into u at a, right?
U at A.
P at a into u at a. So we have got u at a plus 2 is nothing but p at a plus 1, p at a into u at a. Similarly, what is u at a plus 3? P at
A plus 2.
a plus 2, u at a plus 2.
Plus
What is
1.
p at a? Is p at a plus 2 as it is. U at a plus 2 is from here. It will be
P of A plus
p at a plus 1, p at a into u at a.
U at A.
Now can we generalize now?
Yes.
And so on. What is p at a? U at a plus n. U at
A plus n. A plus n minus 1.
a plus n minus
1 into
n minus
P of A plus n minus 2.
a plus
And so on.
U at, so this I can
A into U at A.
U at A product K is 0 to n minus 1 P at A plus K. Can I write like this? U at A plus n, I can write as U at A product K is equal to 0 to n minus 1 P at A plus K. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now we can write in more convenient form. Equivalently, we can write above equation as U at T is equal to U at A product S is equal to A to T minus 1 P at S, where T is equal to A plus 1, A plus 2 and so on. Is it? Now instead of A plus N, I am writing any T, where T takes any value. T takes A plus 1, A plus 2 and so on. Right? So when T takes A, it should be U at A only. So this S is equal to A to A minus 1 P of S should be 1. Where it is understood that product S is equal to A minus 1 P of S is nothing but 1 equal. We use this convention, okay? Because when T is equal to A, U at A is equal to U at A. So this product S is equal to A minus 1 P at S, we will consider as 1.
1.
That is our most convenient form. Okay. And when T is equal to A plus 1, it will just take U at A into P at A. T is equal to A plus 2. It will be U at A, P at A plus 1, P at A, and so on. Is that okay? S is equal to A minus T minus 1. Is that okay? This and this formula is same. Is that okay? This is in the form of elements A plus N, A plus K and so on. Here it is in the form of general T, any T. T will be my A plus 1, A plus 2 and so on. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this is for T greater than equal to A plus 1, the product is taken over A plus 1 up to T minus 1. Is that right? When T is equal to A, this will be product will be 1. And when it is T is greater than equal to A plus 1, then product will be taken over A plus 1 up to T minus 1. That is our usual form, product form. Okay, so this is a solution of my, just by using iteration we can easily solve homogeneous, first order homogeneous linear difference equation using this formula. Okay, or just by taking iterations. Now I want to use this. So this is my part A. This is the proof of part A. Now I want to find the solution, or I want to give the So proof for part B. What is part B? We already proved this. The solution of 3.1 dash is given by this. Now I want to prove all solutions of 3.1 non-homogeneous difference equations are given by this one. So for that, consider now substituting yt is equal to ut into vt in equation 3.1, we get what we are doing now. I want to solve this equation and I am having ut as a solution of homogeneous equation. So now I will write yt as a product of ut into vt, where I need to determine what is my vt. So my vt will be this one. Is that okay? I want to show solution is equal to yt is equal to ut into some function summation rt upon eut plus c, that I am calling as vt. But now I want to prove that vt is nothing but this term. Is that okay? So now substituting yt is equal to ut into vt in equation 3.1, where we need to determine function vt which satisfies that equation. So if we substitute in 3.1, what we will get? What is my 3.1? Y at t plus 1 minus p of t. Y at t is nothing but my rt. That is my 3.1. So if we substitute y, so what will be this? U at t plus 1 into v at t plus 1 into p of t, as it is yt will be ut into vt, which is equal to rt. Okay. After substitution, yt is equal to ut into vt, I will get this one. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
u at t plus 1 into v at t plus 1 minus p of t. What is this ut into vt? Sorry, pt into, not u2 into vt. pt into ut. What is pt
U of
into
t plus 1. U of t plus 1.
u at t plus 1 from 3.1 dash? I can write p2 into ut as u at t plus 1 into v of t, which is equal to rt, using 3.1 dash. Is that okay? Now u at t plus 1 common, what is remaining? V at t plus 1 minus v at t is equal to rt. Now, distributing by delta v of t equal to rt upon u at t plus 1 v of t. Please, all of you mute your microphone. Okay. So what is u at t plus 1? I can write this as eu of t. Now, can I solve this first order difference equation in terms of v of t? Now, taking summation, indefinite sum on both sides. You write taking summation or indefinite sum on both sides, whatever. So, if I take summation on both sides, what I will get? What I get?
Ci is equal to
This will be v of t. Summation and delta will get cancelled, v of t, and here indefinite sum of r of t divided by e u of t plus c of t. But since my domain takes discrete values a plus 1, a plus 2, it will be just constant c. Is that okay? So that is my
yes, ma'am.
v of t. So therefore, I have started with this. So this implies yt is nothing but ut into vt. Vt is nothing but whatever we want to prove, RT upon EU of t plus constant c, and that is my yt is nothing but ut times summation RT divided by EUT plus c. That is my solution, which is my required solution of non-homogeneous equation 3.1. Is that okay? And we have proved the theorem 3.1. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So this you need to remember, because many times we use this formula now for homogeneous and non-homogeneous. Okay, so now based on this we will see one function. We will see one example. Example 3.1, find solution yt of difference equation y t plus 1 minus t times yt, which is equal to t plus 1 factorial, where t domain of t is given to be 1, 2, 3 and so on, discrete values. So that y at 1 is equal to 5. So initial value is also given, so we can find that arbitrary constant also here. Okay, so this is my non-homogeneous difference first order linear difference equation. So if I compare with 3.1, what is my P of t? Comparing
P.
Given difference equation with general difference equation 3.1. What we get? P of t is nothing but t. P of t is nothing but t. And what is R of t?
T
T
plus
plus 1
factorial.
factorial.
1 factorial. Is that okay? Now, first we find the solution of homogeneous equation because we require ut, right? So first we solve homogeneous difference equation to get value of ut. So what is my first order equation? 3.1 dash u at t plus 1
T plus
minus p of t. P
minus
of t is
T
my
of T.
u of t, which is equal to 0.
R of T.
First we solve homogeneous difference equation to get the value of ut, where this one. So its solution is given by how its solution is given by, we know that its solution is given by u at t, u at a product s is equal to a to t minus 1 p at s, right? Is that right? In 3.1 we have proved the solution of
मॅम
equation.
तिथं टी ऑफ टी पाहिजे होतं
कुठे
3.1 डॅश इक्वेशन आहे ना पी ऑफ टी आहे तिथं
3.1 डॅश हे इथे का p of t च ना
शेवटी आता लिहिलेलं
आता मी काय लिहिलं
फक्त टी लिहिले
t इथे p of t आहे ना या एक्झाम्पल साठी t आहे
ओके ओके
or I will write. And its solution is given by this. Therefore, the solution of u at t plus 1 minus t times ut is equal to 0 is given by, okay. Now, its solution will be given by ut is equal to u at a. What is my a now? A is 1, a plus 1, a plus 2 and so on. So a is my 1. U at 1 into product s is equal to 1 to t minus 1 p at s. P at s will be, since p at t is t, what is p at s?
Yes.
What is yes?
Yes.
Yes. So what will be this? U at 1, it is product from 1 to t minus 1. S is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to t minus 1. So what will be this? U at 1 into t minus 1 factorial. So ut is nothing but, so choosing u at 1 is equal to 1, we get ut is equal to t minus 1 factorial. Is that okay? Just for our convenience purpose, u at 1 will be some constant only. So that constant I am taking as 1. Choose u at 1 is equal to 1. So that I will get u at t is equal to t minus 1 factorial. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I want to find solution of non-homogeneous equation. So for non-homogeneous equation, it is given by So now we got ut. Now, and we know that solution of given equation is given by yt is equal to ut summation rt ut plus c. So we have now, we know that solution of given non-homogeneous equation is given by yt is equal to ut into summation rt divided by ut plus c. So what is my ut? T minus 1 factorial. Ut is my t minus 1 factorial. And summation, what is my RT? RT is t plus 1 factorial. Is that right? RT is t plus 1 factorial. And EUT. What is EUT then? If UT is t minus 1 factorial, it is EUT is nothing but you add t plus 1. T plus 1 minus 1 factorial. It is t factorial and plus c. Is that okay?
Yes.
So t minus 1 factorial. What is summation t plus 1 factorial divided by t factorial? T plus 1 into t factorial I can write. So t factorial will get cancelled. What will remain here? Summation
T minus
plus 1 na? T plus 1 factorial is t plus 1 into
T
factorial. So t factorial get cancelled, only t plus 1 remains. Now, what is indefinite sum of t plus 1 now? It is b2 at t plus 1 divided by 2 and plus c. We have proved this in corollary 2.2 from corollary 2.2. What was my corollary 2.2? If k is equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on, then summation t raised to k is nothing but 1 upon k plus 1 bk plus 1 at t plus c of t, where delta c of t is equal to 0. This is my corollary 2.2. So using that, what is t plus 1 raised to k? It is 1 upon k plus 1 bk plus 1 of t plus 1. And now here k is my 1. So 1 upon 2 b2 of t plus 1. Same thing I have written here. b2 t plus 1 divided by 2. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what is b2 t minus 1 factorial as it is? b2 at t plus 1. What is b2 at t? It is t square minus t plus 1 by 6 na? So t plus 1 square minus t plus 1 plus 1 by 6 divided by 2 plus c. Since b to t is nothing but t square minus t plus 1 by 6. Okay, just I am replacing t by t plus 1. So I get this. Which is, if I simplify this, t minus 1 factorial t square plus 2t plus 1 minus t minus 1 plus 1 by 6 divided by 2 plus constant c. T minus 1 factorial t square 2t minus t plus t plus 1 minus 1 will get cancelled plus 1 by 6 divided by 2 plus c. So t minus 1 factorial, this I can write as t plus 1 plus 1 by 12 plus c. Can I write like this? t plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 12. 1 by 6 by 2 is 1 by 12 plus c. I will treat this as another constant, say d. T plus 1 divided by 2 plus t minus 1 factorial into d, where d is nothing but 1 by 12 plus c. Is that okay? Is that
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
Now what is t into t plus 1 into t minus 1 factorial? T plus 1 factorial by 2 I can write plus d
Yes,
times
ma'am.
t minus 1 factorial. Now I want to, that is my yt. Now I want to find this arbitrary constant d. Now to find d, what I should use? Initial value is given already.
Yes.
To evaluate d, we let t is equal to 1. What do we get? Y at 1 is equal to 1 plus 1 factorial divided by 2 plus d into 1 minus 1 factorial. And what is y at 1? It is going to be 5. So 2 by 2, 1. 0 factorial is 1. So what is my d? D is my 4 na?
Yes.
D is my द्यायचं आहे का? 1 second. So D is my 4. Therefore, the required solution is given by yt is equal to, what was that? T plus 1 factorial divided by 2 plus 4 times t minus 1 factorial. That will be my final solution. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now, if I want to check whether my solution is correct or not, what should I do? What should I do? How I check this solution is correct or not? Just by
Put T is
substituting
equal
in
to
LHS. If you get R is equal to RHS, LHS is equal to RHS, then you can come to know your solution is correct. Right? Now I give you as homework. Check this solution. Check. The function yt given by star is solution of equation. What is that equation? Y at t plus 1 minus t times yt is equal to t plus 1
T plus 1 factorial.
where y at 1 is equal to 5. So can you check now? Just substitute t is equal to t plus 1. So you will get y at t plus 1. Then minus t times yt you do, you will get here t plus 1 factorial. So LHS is equal to RHS will give you yt is the solution. And if you substitute y at 1, you will get here 5. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So remaining things we will do tomorrow. Okay, so we can stop here now.